At least I explained in Russian where should I need to go to my Uber driver, and he understood everything. Так вы можете задавать вопросы по-русскому. This one was also learned yesterday, probably after the third beer. Okay, so I actually put some tension onto my presentation. It will be a first time I'm doing such presentation. You will see in a moment what is the difference between it. And it's a bit time-limited slot, so I will jump quickly to the most interesting part. So today I'm going to talk about Xamarin, the good, the bad, and the ugly parts of it, and some good points from my experience and some bad points. And a short introduction. I came from a company called IBM. I'm working for IBM for last 8 months. Previously, I was working for another great companies, but now my life is with IBM. And in IBM, we are doing a lot of nice stuff, and one of them is Xamarin. Xamarin was a product and a technology I was using for last 6-7 years, from early stages, from early betas. So, no surprise, IBM hired me for that particular reason, probably. And today, the main idea of this presentation is to make conference app during my presentation, just like that. Just to show you how to start dealing with Xamarin, what are the pain points, what are the good parts, how the whole solution works, and let's jump in. That was the shortest introductional talk from my side. And okie dokie. So you probably heard that Visual Studio came to Mac world finally, because like for last years I was struggling with virtual machines on my Mac, how to develop things. There also Xamarin Studio, pretty the same clone from Visual Studio. So no big deal, Visual Studio is pretty the same as Xamarin Studio, and it does the same. Okay, so let's start from the idea. Our app needs a backend, definitely. Like 9 of the 10 apps needs a backend for that. And for that, we're using .NET Core. That's an example from my daily task. I'm currently in IBM working on a project where we have pretty the same structure. So we have a solution. The solution has 2 parts, but we're using the same tools, the backend guys and the mobile guys. And we're using Visual Studio for Mac or for Windows, doesn't matter. And the backend is Web API based on .NET Core, the latest one, 2.0. And it fits into the same solution. So we can copy-paste or just steal some good code parts from our backend developers and copy-paste it to our mobile solution, for example, models, some logic and controllers, and etc. And for today, I won't show you Web API like in a small pieces. I will tell you what it does and why do we need that. So basically, Web API has a service which is basically web scraper. It goes through .NET Summit.bi web page and fetches all the divs with the speaker names, positions, and etc., and extracts me a pretty JSON based on data model described right here. Everything is written by a well-known backend developer, me. Here's a controller for serving everything. And the result is a nicely done JSON for our app. So there is an array of speakers, array of program, each track with description, topic, full name, etc., etc. Everything is hosted in Bluemix. No surprise, that's a product from IBM. The reason probably that I'm getting it for free and it's good enough for me. If it wasn't be an IBM, I will probably host it on Azure. Doesn't matter, it's .NET Core, so we can host it anywhere we want. And let's jump in. So that was a big picture of our backend, what it does and what it returns. If you will start a blank project in Xamarin Forms to be precise, you will probably get the same structure, like in a mobile folder, like .NET Summit mobile app, that's a Xamarin Forms main project, and underneath is Android and iOS project, which depends on a project on top. And the main structure will be the same. So if I will run an app, you will see nothing fancy. Welcome to Xamarin Forms, .NET Summit mobile app. You will see the same if you will try to launch blank new application. No surprise. If you want to switch to Android, and here comes the main pain point. Why do the heck I see iPhone simulator, iPhone, and etc. when I choose an Android project? No idea. It's been for a while, like 4 years, and I still don't get an answer. Why? Somehow you can debug your Android application on iOS? Yeah, kiss my ass. So you will see a result, the same result I showed you a moment ago on iOS. You will see, okay, something strange happening. Does not exist. How some? That's strange things. I checked like 10 minutes ago and it was working. Okay. Once again, activity class does not exist. Okay, now you see the ugly part of Xamarin. When you have no idea what is happening. And it was working before. And after you come to a client and something is not working, they blame you as a bad programmer. Okay, let's try again. This time, let's be gentle. Okay. It's Android here. Everything should be smooth. And while everything is warming up, I will tell you a joke. Yesterday when I was flying to Minsk, some guy managed to steal a life jacket from a plane. You can imagine what happened. Like 50 army guys surrounded our bus, which was taking us to an airport, and checked every single person on the bus who took the life jacket. That's a real story. That was the craziest shit I ever had. Okay, so I have no idea why it's not working. It happens sometime. For that particular reason, I will try to. Okay, reset. Okay, bam. Did that fix something? And yes, we're good to go. So now you see the result of a blank application on Android. Ugly blue header, the same text, welcome to Xamarin Forms. And the main difference from iOS, I will try to launch side by side. I'm not sure, can you identify that on Android the page is gray, on iOS is white, the headers are in different colors, but that's a blank solution. That's a starting point of our application. Okay, so let's go deeper. So, as I said before, the starting point is our main project. The actually code is written here, what you just saw. It's like the content page with title .NET Summit mobile app. The title was on the top of a header. The content consists of a stick layout with some children's of a label, the text welcome to Xamarin Forms. Okay, as a good programmers, we will probably just leave the best part of it. That's it. So for our application, we need a page called speakers because we need to show a speakers list for that. So we will do that. We're creating a new file in a page folder of type forms, content page XAML. XAML is actually XML-based language, let's call it that way. It came from VPS, WPF, and Windows Phone. And that's actually the greatest thing Xamarin implemented because it's quite simple, it's understandable, and really usable. So speaker page, bam. So now I have my XAML page with some XML lookalike code and a code behind .cs. And if I want to open that page, assign it to a main page, new speakers, speaker page, yeah. That's it. And now if I will run my application, you will probably notice a small difference. Come on, Android. I didn't say that in IBM I am working just with iOS platform. So that's probably a reason Android doesn't like me. Dude, we spent some great days. Okay. That's the result we just made. We get rid of some noisy headers, the content, and we get just a blank page. Nothing impressive. But the main difference, we lost our header. So to add the header, we need to wrap our page into navigation page. So the navigation page is actually the point where all the navigation happens and all the fancy animations is handled automatically. So for example, if I want to add a header, I'm writing navigation page and inserting a speaker page inside it. And now I should see the header on top of it. Yes, so the header is back. Lucky me. So that was just a small part, but now we will jump into hardcore code. Like we need a tablet control, so tabs, let's call it that way. New tablet page, okay. With some parameters like title. I like a hashtag .NET Summit. Okay. Let's change background color, bare background color. That yellow is actually annoying me a bit, so color, let it be red. And the text, bar text color, could be color white. You see the IntelliSense is working perfectly in Xamarin Studio, even I'm not using the Visual Studio for Windows, the best IntelliSense I ever saw. And now it comes to Visual Studio for Mac. And tabs. Tabs has a children's by wrapping children add. Let's add our speaker page. Speaker page. Our speaker page probably also need a title. Let's call it speakers. Let's add another page to it. Add new program page. That's a page I prepared before. So I will show you what is the difference between speakers and program. No big difference actually, but that's it. So instead of wrapping speakers page into navigation, let's wrap our tabs. So what I did, I created a tabbed page, the children of speaker page and program page. So I should see two tabs. First one is speakers, a blank one. Another one is a program, where should be all the program listed. I won't show it right now. So we're good to go. We have the starting point of our application. Let's create some nice content for it. So the XAML is pretty readable language of coding, because from IntelliSense you can see what you're adding. For example, if you want to add a button, it's just like button. You're adding a text to a button, and that's it, you're good to go. Similar to HTML. But in our case, we need something fancier. For example, list view. List view. List view. Yes. And for a list view, we need some data. And for data, we need probably a service which will fetch the data from backend. And this service is actually already half prepared, because the biggest parts of the code is already written or seen somewhere else, and I like copying the same logic from a different applications. And for example, this part is data service, which actually returns a task with fetching data. So the nicest thing about Xamarin and a Visual Studio, you can use the same NuGet packages as you used in your .NET projects. For example, REST Sharp or Newtonsoft JSON. You just click on the packages. Here you go. You see a lot of nice packages, and for fetching data, I'm using REST Sharp. Let's add that package. REST Sharp successfully added. That's all I needed. Okay. Tricky fingers. I'm going to website and just copy pasting because that's the best programming way. Just copy paste the good parts. Yeah. Okie dokie. So the client will be calling our API. Okay. This one. Chooks. the parameters. Here you go. That's a method get, definitely. And a response, where response client is our client REST execute task sync, as we need task request. And I know that task needs cancellation token source with token. Just to be able to cancel a task if something will be implemented later on. And we need to do that only if we don't have a data already fetched. So if conference, that's a object, speakers equals to null, or let's say conference tracks equals to null, fetch new data. Afterwards, assign conference to, and now we need to parse the downloaded data. So JSON convert, that's a Newton JSON soft package, which is already pre-installed. This relies object type is conference. And that's a good part, that I can go to my backend and just copy paste the whole data structure from a backend guys and copy paste it to our mobile app and use the same data model for that. And parse response. Okay, we need to await it. Await. Yeah. Response content. Okay, is it clear? I'm creating a REST client with a REST request, awaiting while all the data will be executed and downloaded, and assigning it to conference object. And if the data is already fetched, just return me the same data object with the data, don't download it again. So we have a service for downloading the data. Why it's crying. Let's see if it builds. Magic things happens. Yes, it passes. So for speakers page, you can assign your data into constructor, speakers page, or there is a better way to assign and get and manipulate data right after your view is rendered. So for that, we are using protected override on appearing. This hack won't block you your thread while the page is opening. It's a really good approach for that. It will be a sync, definitely, because we will using a task. So var data, it's we need data service. Yeah. Let's start from data private static data service. Yeah. Yeah. Adding a namespace easily. And for service, let's call data service. And now we can get all data with some await. And now we can assign that fetched data to our created list view. So for doing that, we need to name our list view somehow. So let's say it will be speakers list view. very creative name. And item source for that will be our data with type speakers. So now our list view should show all the speakers of a conference. Will it? Who wants to guess? Here you go. And that's our speakers. Pretty amazing, yeah? Wow. In IBM, this kind of task probably will take like 2 months. It depends how many project managers or tools like Jira are used and how agile the team is. But basically, it's 2-month job, so no big deal. I just made it in 20 minutes. So now, to make it nicer, we can create our cell design and prototype for it. So list view, item template, which is basically a data template because we will be presenting some data in it. Just a moment, yeah. Data template needs view cell because it's list view. View cell, yeah. And now we can add some stack layout. That's basically a wrapper which wraps elements and can handle many elements inside it, because XAML doesn't allow you to put many items into some parent nodes. So stack layout is a lifesaver for that. There is also some nice stuff for it. Okay, so image source, the height request, let's say I want 64 by 64 images for our speakers. Yeah. And the source will be the binding. Very good thing. Who's familiar with bindings? Oh, most of you, so no big deal. I'm just making a binding of path photo. Where comes it? It's basically a data model with a speaker, and there is a string of a photo, and I'm binding to that string, and that string is actually a source of our image, and that string is actually a URL of the image itself. So yeah, here we go. Ugly as hell. To solve that, you need to list view, say it has uneven rows, so it means the size of a list can be as big as you want. It adapts to your content. Another great thing is caching strategy. Yeah, cache. Dude. Yeah, it's called that way. So why it's not working? List view has uneven rows, blah, blah, blah. Caching strategy. Yeah. Recycle element. What does it mean? It shows just those elements which are actually on the screen, and those who are offset the screen, it will be removed from memory. It will save your memory, and trust me, that's a lifesaver for Androids. I have solved like dozens of memory exceptions for Androids, and this one, caching strategy for list view, it's a lifesaver. Let's see. Will it becomes nicer? Yes. So now we can see all the images, headers, and etc. And now, as we are running out of time, we can start making nice stuff. For example, speaker list view, item selected. Let's assign it to, I prefer this one. Yeah. Okay. And if E selected item is not equal null, we can navigate somewhere. For example, navigation page, push what is happening? Not navigation page, just navigation. Yeah, push thing to our new details page. The details page shows all the info about the speaker itself and topic he speaks. But for particular reason, we need to pass something to that page. For this particular example, I need to pass speaker name, as I'm using the unique identification speaker name. So speaker, it's E selected item as speaker, not a speaker page, just speaker. I'm casting actually a clicked item to a speaker object, and now my variable has a full name, and I can easily navigate to another page. Let's see how it works. Let's see. The data is loading, and now we can see all the, and we are navigated to speaker details. Something just happened, no data, but that's okay. Okay, we have an issue. So we selected an item, get back to a previous page, and still select. We can easily solve that by, if it's not null, let's make it null. Easy like that. Like speaker list view selected item is equal null. Now something should happen. Okay, so we click the same guy, going to speaker details, still nothing, but after we go back, it's not selected and it looks okay. And now I can show the program page. As you see, I added the loading icon. It's called activity indicator. And here you can see, a list of all tracks grouped by time and track indicator. So it's pretty the same logic underneath that page. I will show you in a moment. So it's program page, no big deal. Same stack layout as in speakers page. I've added activity indicator with some like width and height Is it running? True. Is it visible? True. The color black. It's pretty clear, yeah? So afterwards, I'm creating a list view as I create in a speakers page, caching strategy, recycle element, just to save Android phones. Separate the color. You can change the small line underneath each item to whatever color you want. Has uneven rows, yeah, because there are some big topics and it's really aggressive, so we need to have uneven rows because some of them smaller, some of them bigger. Is it visible? False. And here comes the magic. How to deal that specific event when some data is loading and you don't want to show something. Just hide it. Just hide it. And you can see the activity indicator is visible, yes. And list view is visible, no. So that's the whole magic. And after all the data is loaded, so let's open speakers page. For example, here, right before we can implement show activity indicator, hide list view, and afterwards, just inverse the logic. Like hide activity indicator and show list view. That's it. You got a nice looking loading page. And for item template, we have the same data template with view cell wrapped in stack layout with some padding and spacing, and has two labels, one for a topic, another one is for speaker full name. And on the very right side, we have a track ID with some cool properties like break mode, no wrap. For example, you need sometimes big lines of text with no wrapping enabled. No big deal. You can just add a property. Some different font sizes, text colors, and etc. It's pretty describable and quite good readable. It remembers me the page a bit. No big deal. So that's the whole idea of a program page. And now we can jump into details page and see what is actually done there. So the same logic, activity indicator before, because we're fetching data, just to check maybe something is updated. And now we have a new component, scroll view. For example, you want to have many elements in your page, and in case they won't fit in that particular page, you can wrap them in a scroll view. It will handle all the elements and will enable you to scroll in between them. Because in this current page, we will be showing the speaker's biography and a topic description. That's a big chunk of text. So it's a good idea to enable scroll. And doing pretty the same, like many stack layouts, the image of a speaker, position, and etc., etc. And now, you probably remember that details page didn't show anything. Come on. Yeah. If I will click speakers, see, nothing. So they need to fix that. And for that particular case, I want to show you really good example. Like, let's go to bio. Okay, let's stick to. As you remember, we can assign a unique name, so a speaker photo. And speaker photo can be used on a, yeah, you see the magic, like invert colors visibility to true. So now activity indicator is visible. After I downloaded the data, I'm inverting to false, and now list view is visible and activity indicator is hidden. And
Alius, there's just 1 minute left.
Yeah, I know. And for speaker photo, image, Speaker photo image. Dude. Yeah, you're right. Source. Source. Yeah. It's image source from URL, their new URL type. And here you can add your object, the URL to the exact photo. As we getting out of the time, I would like to jump into the most interesting part of my presentation. As all good presentations and conferences are giving something as additional value for you to bring something home. So I have one more thing. That's a crazy slide. I like this one the most. And you're probably expecting I will present new iPhone. No, all the source code of a final working application is in my GitHub. You can easily grab it and during a lunch build an app for your phone. And for the rest of conference, use the app on your phone. So thank you for your time. I hope you enjoyed. And if you will have any questions, don't hesitate to ask right now, later on, or on Twitter, on Telegram, Facebook, whatever. Thanks a lot. How do you feel after yesterday? Ivan?
Pretty good.
Yeah?
How are you?
That's the reason you are late for 4 hours?
Just for 2. But anyways, so we have like 5 minutes for questions. Do you remember that the best question gets a prize from the speaker? So, and if you are not comfortable in asking in English, I can translate for you. Or I think Alius understands Russian, so
yeah,
you can use Russian
after
as
the
well.
fifth beer, I started speaking Russian.
Yeah, so questions?
Okay, I have a question. A question about ugly side of Xamarin.
Yeah.
Maybe you have some funny experience with debugging of some for specific things. For example, I had experience with debugging of app delegate with notifications, push notifications.
Yeah.
I spent so much time with this stuff. Maybe you have some examples.
Exactly.
From
So,
your experience. Thank you.
if you ever will try to do something with Xamarin, that's okay. That's okay. But don't ever try to use Xamarin components. That's a piece of shit. That's the most ridiculous things we made. The documentation is outdated. Part of the components is not working. Just throw it away. Don't use it. There are some forks to a NuGet. They are working. Components not. That's the one thing. Another thing, if you will be asked to use maps inside Xamarin Forms, don't even try to do that. I won't say that rude word again. That's enough for today. But maps, that's the ugliest part of Xamarin Forms. Trust me. That was the reason I didn't put a tab with a venue location. Just show how fancy the app is. Just a few list views, navigations, and that's it. Did I answer your question?
Hello. My question is, which continuous integration do you prefer it and why? I mean, there is a Test Cloud, Visual Studio Mobile Center, etc. tools, and do you have maybe TeamCity with your custom agent?
Yes.
Which do you prefer it?
We're using TeamCity for particular reasons. I cannot name them. That's not allowed in my contract, but yes, we're using TeamCity. with some custom builds because all Xamarin applications can be built from command line. It doesn't matter is it Unix or Mac OS or Windows, it can be built. Even iOS applications with some hacky ways.
Okay, and the second question is, which tools do you often use while you develop in mobile applications? I mean iOS, Windows phones, etc., Android.
Okay, good question. I actually was Windows Phone MVP for Microsoft, but after I came up to a conference with my Mac, they decided to kick me out of the program for no reason. So yeah, I was developing Windows Phone for 4 years, like a huge applications for Windows Phone. And that was actually an easy transition to Xamarin because the code base is the same, C#. The UI is the same, XAML, as it was in Windows Phone and WPF. So the transition was quite easy. And for developing things, as I'm working in IBM with Apple enterprise products, so you can guess what kind of tools I'm using. iPads, iOS phones, various debuggers for iOS, and Xamarin. That's basically it.
Cool. We have just time for the last question.
No, we can go over and over.
Yeah, I will try to speak faster. Okay, first of all, thank you for your presentation. I have such a provocational question.
Yeah.
Your total presentation was written in Xamarin Forms.
Yeah.
Are you convinced that Xamarin Forms is now production ready, or you
Yes.
still will use Xamarin native in the production products?
Definitely yes. I will definitely use Xamarin Forms for production apps, and we are using it for many IBM clients like Porsche, Maersk, LG, Samsung, big names. And a bunch of the products is actually built up upon Xamarin Forms. I think you are asking us all features from a native platform is available in Xamarin Forms. Yes, it is, but that's an ugly part of Xamarin Forms. You can make custom renderers, custom dependency injections, and that's how you use the native things of platforms. For example, for LG, we're making an app for a smart home for controlling lights, watches, televisions, and etc., etc. And we needed iOS home assets from a native platform. So for that particular case, we was reading our dependency injection from a native platform to Xamarin Forms. It's quite easy, but you need to read a lot of documentation how to do it properly. But it's achievable, it's doable, and it's production ready.
That's great. Unfortunately, we are out of time.
The best question.
Yeah, and you are to actually give the prize. So let's thank Alius again, and all the questions you can ask on the after party or during the lunch break.